Hey everybody, Joe here, and I'm going to be ranking all of tf2's weapons. So, what do we have first? We have the Airstrike. It's a okay weapon, the Airstrike. Honestly, it could be worse, could be better, but it's okay. Devilman's boots always go in B tier because they complete a set. I think this goes to B tier just because it used to be good. It's not good anymore. It still can do some good damage. It can't do it anymore. Amputator, C tier. It's not that good. It saves it from the Vitasauce fate of being in last place, so hooray? F tier. Basically, this thing just goes to D tier because it's a battery skin with a bad upside. This goes here. And it goes to C tier because it's okay. It gives you that triple jump, but it's okay. Another C tier because it... Well, no, it goes B tier. It's just a reskin of the default weapon. Extinguisher, it's okay. It used to be like A tier. Now it's... Well, let's put it in B tier just for... It could still do good. These two get D tier because the backscatter, while not inherently terrible, if you're already behind somebody, the scatter gun just does better in general. And the babyface, you get sneezed on and you lose that power up, so it's not worth it. See, the trade-offs are too aggressive. If a medic wants to help you, you can't get helped. And the damage boost, while good, is only a niche upgrade at best. Our first A tier, it's a back burner. Being behind somebody while being niche is really effective. D tier now. They removed it so you can only parachute once, so it's good. It's bad now. You know what? Add a row above. That row. Defaults. If it's a default weapon, it goes up here. That's because it's not bad, it's not good, but it's a great bar to bench your weapons off of. This is okay. Gives you 20 extra health and protects your teammates from extra damage. So, that's pretty good. It's a good B tier. The Bizarre Bargain goes into B tier because it starts bad but gets better, but you die once, you lose all the benefits. A tier, because if you know how to use this thing, it's very effective, the Beggar's Bazooka. If you don't know how to use it, it goes down to C tier. But if you know how, it's an A tier. Spy's Big Burner. A single rocket will destroy your existence, but if you can get those backstabs, you can get nice chain stabs going. Not the worst, not the best. This was a hard decision. I'm going to say high tier on it, B. It's the highest B tier it's got. Why? Because it can heal you and it's 3 rockets. Why is it bad? Just because it's got 3 rockets. A regular soldier could beat you out in the fight. The Sagger. Controversial opinion, bottom of A tier always. It's good because it can heal you. It's bad because it takes away the ability to help others. Default. Bonk Atomic Punch. Right here, right in the middle. It's good. It guarantees some temporary invulnerability. It's not the worst, not the best. Boston Basher. It's a good C tier. You build Uber with it. You're not going to be like doing much. It used to be good for getting spies hunted. You could still do that, but it's not the best for it anymore. Brass Beast. First heavy minigun. It's okay. I know A tier for like Brass Beast seems weird, but that's a pretty good area to put it. For this, the buff banner, it goes into B tier because it doesn't offer substantial upsides to use it compared to its other boxes. In other modes like MBM, I can see the argument, but in any other mode, it just doesn't make the cut. A heavy sandwich. This goes into high C tier. The buffalo steak sandwich is way too situational, and compared to the sandwich, it doesn't hold its weight. Ooh. I can't remember if that's the Bushwalker. Okay, it's the Bushwhacker. Okay, I remember now. Bushwhacker. It's about here. The ability to crit whenever it would normally mini crit is highly effective, and rounds off the Girardi's probably set well. Actually, no. The candy cane is the worst weapon I think for Scout to ever try and use. You die in a single rocket or pill. It's not worth the trouble. A shield, the charge and targe. Highest resistances of all the shields, and that's about it. But as it grants it the best resistances, it's a lot better for tanking damage. So if you're into taking damage, go with the charge and targe over the others. The Collidamore, C tier. It doesn't have enough upsides to warrant that damage penalty. This will go into C tier as well. It's okay, but it's not good. It's not as good as default sniper. This, too situational. The Cleaner's Carbine is just too situational to use. Doesn't give enough advantages. A tier is for the Cloak and Dagger, just because that unlimited time for Cloak while standing still. Basically, a lot of people go, well, you're just not doing anything to spy, you're just wasting time. Allows player that time can be allowed for you to basically sit and plan. And planning is the number one thing you might need as a spy. This, with its self-healing, paired with the black box, the Conqueror's Conch, is very good. Very solid choice to pick. There's Kunai. It's not as good as the Big Earner because even a stray scout will put you out of your existence. So it's best not to pick it if you don't know what you're doing. This has unlimited ammo with a Cow Mangler. Has a special ability to crit upon right click, and it has one fun function. Upon right clicking and hitting with that right click, you disable all sentries. Very effective if you ask me. Backpack, not that good. Basically, this backpack incentivizes you to sit there and take hits that you shouldn't be taking. So if you're wearing this and you're worried about flinching from a shot, the only time you have to worry is if somebody's just plinking at you from a distance. But if you're a good sniper, you should have dealt with them already. Criticola, right up here, right above the bonk. Unlike the bonk, which slows you down if you take too much damage, this will just straight up kill you, because you get marked for death. But you get free crits in exchange, so it's a good trade-off. This just goes in S tier. The Crusaders Crossbow is just too effective. It's too effective at its job, at a core. It's supposed to heal people in bursts, but when paired with a good medic that knows what they're doing, it's so effective that it's oppressive. That's why it's the first S tier. Dalco Spar, I'm going to give it about here. I'm actually going to move the Buffalo Steak Sandwich all the way down here. It doesn't get D tier because it does give you some benefit compared to none. The Darwin's Danger Shield. This will be a high A tier. Due to Pyro's inability to put two brain cells together, he has multiple flare guns that will annoy the living shit out of you. The Darwin's Danger Shield completely negates his annoyances by removing his one ability, Afterburn, so you don't have to worry about Afterburn too hard. So that's why it gets top of A tier. There's a reason why I'm putting this up at the top of S tier. The Dead Ringer will fake your death. Even a crit rocket will not put you down permanently, as if you have full health as a Dead Ringer. You use this effectively, you will very much make the enemy team hate you. So have fun! Degreaser, it's okay. It used to be better for the Puff and Sting. It's not too good now, but it used to be better. B tier, Detonator above that. For the average Pyro player, that requires way too much concentration and thinking to actually use effectively. Because when people play Pyro, they just want to shut that frontal lobe off. I'm putting the Diamondback in S tier because it rewards you for doing your job. If you're doing your job, then by God, you're going to get crits all the time. Direct Hit, top of A, second of A tier actually. It basically wipes the floor with sentries and everything else. Thank you, Spy. Disciplinary action. It's okay. It's not going to be the best, but it doesn't have to be the best. It just gives you a nice speed boost and a bit of a longer range. Dragon's Fury. It's pretty good. But if you're using this, just expect to get called somebody that either a sweaty boy that should probably fall down a well, or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. Enforcer. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The damage resistances just aren't worth it half the time. So this thing ain't worth it. Well, with those damage resistances, it's better than half these things down here. Equalizer, I'll put it here. It's pretty bad. You're trading health for damage. Don't ever trade health for damage, because if you're close enough to somebody at like 20 health, then you're just gonna die when they breathe on you. The escape plan. Guess what? Very good. You get to run away at mock chicken. If you're damaged. Pretty good. But you can't get healed, so... Eureka Effect. The Eureka Effect is the only engineer weapon that I'll say is pretty good. It allows you to escape any bad situations by hiding around a corner, hitting R, and 1 or 2. Teleport out, and you're good to go. Eviction Notice. It's terrible. It's very bad. Has no upsides that I will give it, because it's just a shitty version of the Guru, which we will get to. Eyelander. Goes up here. Goes right with the rest of the Demo Man stuff. Why do I say it's B tier and not A tier? Well, it's because the Pyro exists, the Heavy exists, and if a good soldier exists, you're getting shut out. Demo Knight is not good enough to counter those three classes just hitting you. Or Engineer, really. This, it's not better than any of these, so it's just gonna go above here. You're getting moved down to tier. Sorry, I can't see what you being in B tier any longer. It's just got 8 shots. As a heavy, those 8 shots, it will help, but it's not as good as something like a sandwich. Fan of War. A tier. You hit somebody with this, you've basically marked them to die by your team. And in MVM, that's super effective. Fire Axe goes up here. Fists of Steel. B. For basic bitch. You're getting damages, resistances to everything, but a single scout with a bat will cripple you. Default. Flare gun. You want to be the asshole of your team, and make everyone hate you? Don't worry, this isn't there yet, but you're gonna get pretty annoying really fast. The Cleaver. The Cleaver is a very effective weapon for the scout that hurts like hell. Shortstop, I'm going to put it up here. It's okay. But its cousin, not the shortstop, that's the force of nature, Jesus fuck. You'll see why this will not be as high as the other one soon. This is the Frontier Justice. You get free crits if your sentry dies and you have any kills with it. So, why not use it? Well, because it only has 3 shots in the clip. So that's its only limiting factor. Pan. Actually. You know what? Pan will go on S tier, just because it makes a very loud noise. And we might as well get Golden Pan out of the way. It's golden. It's nice. Next up is Gasoline. Gasoline, it's terrible. Don't use it. You're wasting your secondary for nothing. The Guru. It's C tier. Running it is cool as a heavy, but it's not great. Because the advantages you get from the Guru are not that good. While you run, your running is coming at the cost of your own life. Basically, think of it like this. The heavy runs along. Like, I am heavy, I am running. Oh no, I am winded, and that is costing me my health. So yeah, try not to use these too much. It's great for rollouts, but if you use it for rollouts, you're just gonna drain your health. And if you encounter a heavy that's not using the Guru, then he's just gonna turn you into lamb chops. Gunboats. Mid B tier. They go next to the booties. They reduce your rocket jump damage, and if paired with the Liberty Launcher, it's pretty good. I would say it's a great weapon. This goes up with the Engineer or Eureka's Effect, because guess what? It's just as annoying. Why do I say it's just as annoying? Because guess what? It actually is just as annoying. Mini sentries only cost you 100 metal to build compared to 125, so you can pump out 2 of these little boys, or a sentry and a dispenser, or a sentry and 2 tellies. Guess what that means? You are literally the worst thing known to man, because you will be pumping those mini sentries out at a record time. So have fun with that, you heinous torturer of mankind with the gunslinger. Hassa Tuichi. Man, it's a shame it's terrible. Because it used to give you a lot more health on kill. Now it gives you, like, barely anything. You have to hope and pray that everybody around you's low health so you can get all those kills lined up. The Ham. It's okay. It's a piece of meat. Not as cool as the Pan, and not as cool as something else. As like any other melee weapon, so it goes there. Cleaner's Carbine. Only good in MVM. Otherwise, it's very terrible. Fists of, Holiday Punch. Actually kind of goated. The Holiday Punch will always make a person laugh if it's a crit, including Ubered targets. So if you see somebody Ubered coming towards you, a single slap from these bad boys will cause them to laugh their face off, which, now that I think about it, gets them the S tier rank, because they will cancel out an entire game's mechanic of invulnerability. Homewrecker. It goes right next to the Guillotine and the Fan of War, just because, while it's not great for killing players, if you're being a Pybro, which is a pyro that sits next to sentries and engineers, it's very effective. Very good. Hot Hand. too gimmicky. Haunted Fortress. Anyway, the Hot Hand is such a gimmicky weapon that it basically tries to do what the Eviction Notice wants that the Eviction Notice does, which is speed on hits, with a Pyro, with the downside of minus 20% damage and a finicky hitbox that, honestly, you're trying to kill people at close range. Use a Flamethrower. You don't want to fight at close range with a Pyro in general, so yeah. Arrows. Depends on the server. If the arrows are good, they will utterly slap your shit. Hulong Heater. It consumes ammo like a bastard and is only useful on cart, so it gets C tier actually. The standard Cloak Watch. Goes right next to the regular Cloak and Dagger, but slightly below it just because it doesn't have that infinite cloak. Iron Bomber, no rollers and hitbox is fixed, so it's not as good as it once was. Would have gone an A tier, but now it's a B tier. The Jag, not worth it anymore. Used to be good, but now it just doesn't have the stats to hold itself up compared to the power of the Eureka Effect or the Gunslinger. Girardi is pretty good. It's a nice asset to have. As a sniper, it's great to have it so you can extinguish yourself or teammates. However, if you have it, why not just use the danger shield? Unless you're hunting spies, in which case acceptable, but still. Boxes of killing. Not that good. If you're heavy, you're supposed to be using your minigun, and if you're using these, you're out of options, and you should have used the Holiday Punch or something else, like the Gru. I will excuse the Gru more than the KGBs. Standard Knife. Kritzkrieg. Free crits on demand. What's not to love? The fact that it's crits only, that's about it. Great to have on a lot of classes, but crits don't hurt buildings, so that's what stops that from being an S tier. Because S tier are weapons that can either throw a class over the edge in terms of balance, or they completely negate a mechanic. L'étranger. L'étranger? L'étron shit. It's one of the few weapons that, if you use it, will help the Dead Ringer. And helping the Dead Ringer, I mean it gives it back cloak. So use it when you're in a tight spot. I'm not going to give it A tier. I'm going to give it high B tier. It doesn't have enough damage to warrant its use. It's worse than the other revolver. But the only reason I'm getting a top of B tier is because of it getting cloak back, whereas the Ambassador just does headshot damage, which, while good, does not have the utility that the L'étranger has, which can kill somebody and give you the ability to get the hell out of there, where the Ambassador is a good, I'm fucked, I gotta kill this single dude. Liberty Launcher. It's okay. You'll notice a trend where I put projectiles here, but that's because this. Less damage from jumping, and it still allows for damage, unlike the rocket jumper, so you can do some damage instead of just relying on a shovel. So it's pretty good. Lock and load. High C tier. You're using this thing for the projectile speed. We all know it. And if you're saying it's for the damage to buildings, you don't come up against enough buildings with this thing. You'd use the lock and load for buildings, my man. Lolly Chop. You're stuck in Pyro Land. That makes it worse. Lock and load. You want to shut down somebody's push? Hit them with a couple of these babies and they'll be shut down for a minute. It seems gimmicky compared to the Iron Bomber, which a lot of people say, well, no rollers is great. Having the ability to knock back with the lock and load with a donk, Dear God, you are setting them up for an annoyance. This, pretty good. Unlike the other weapons, this will go through people at full charge. Full charge, very effective. Use it. Do not ignore the full charge meter. Also, it does a little extra damage on full charge, so make sure you take advantage of it. The Bad Milk. Same vein as Gerardi. You have other melee, other side weapons, but this one's a bit better because the scout secondaries, well, they kind of suck. Man Melter. Kind of sucks. Your only advantage is you can suck up the fire of other people and use it as crits. Not that good. Man Treads. Not that good. You get increased air control, strafe speed, and stomps. So unless you're here for the memes, not that good. Market Gardener. Yet again, not that good. It's great for just memeing on people. Not that great otherwise. You have to be really good at this, which means a lot of hours sunk in just to use it. Standard Medic Gun. Standard Heavy Gun. The Natasha. The Natasha slows people down on hit, so if you want to annoy a scout, this is the perfect heavy weapon to use. Neon Annihilator. It's great, however, you need water for it to be effective. So it's a situational weapon at best. You know what? We're going to add a row below. Called 2 situational for good use. This. This. Any other weapons here that are way too situational for perfect use? The gasoline is not good enough. I think the Extinguisher would fall into this category because it's just too often do you find yourself not a good spot for it because you're puffing stinging and then they're out of range because they fucked off. Pass out to each sheet does not have a good enough uses anymore for it, so it's too situational. Original, it's basically just the regular rocket launcher, so goes up here. Overdose. Too situational. You get that speed boost, and yet it relies off you having Uber. So why are you holding Uber when you could use that Uber? Too situational. You need to be on points, and you take increased bullet damage, so a scout will literally drop you or heavy. Actually, let's put this down to C tier, because it will literally kill you if you use that. Actually, gonna put this down in D tier. Actually, the hot hand is better than all that. Not better than the gas, but it's better than both those, because at least the hot hand doesn't kill you for you trying to use it. Scimitar. It gives you charge back, hooray, but if you're hybrid knighting, forget having primary ammo, haha. The Flog. Don't tell me it doesn't belong up here, because it doesn't have air blast, that means it's not as good as the normal flamethrower. Yeah, we get it, but you have the ability to get crits on demand, and you can't get punished for popping in a good corner, and then just running at people. You literally get nothing but upsides and no downsides for trying to use this thing. You lobotomize yourself to use it. Pistol, default. Thompson, it's terrible. It's actually 2 situationals where it's going. It has infinite ammo, which is a good upside, but that drain feature, it's not good enough. Too many pyros swear by the power jack, so it's got to be up here. Because it helps you get from point A to point B, which I can't deny. And it gives you health on kill if you can nail the kill. Pistol. You have cool weapons, right? So have a pistol that heals you for dealing damage to people. Pruni's Machete. It's basically the melee for everybody. Quick fix. This is really good. It's not enough to upset the balance of the game good, but it's pretty good. I rank it better than the Crits Creek because with the Crits Creek, you can't keep a whole team alive as effectively, whereas the Quick Fix, your job is to keep the team alive. So pushes become slightly easier if you have a Quick Fix medic and maybe a Crits Creek medic. Quickie Bomb Launcher. Great for pissing people off, not great for anything else. You have to hold it for a lot more damage, and even then, the max charge does not deal as much damage. Rain Blower, you're basically using default, but you're in Pyroland, so it's even worse. Razorback, you basically deny spy backstabs and force them to shoot. And people will pay attention to bullets more than backstabs. Red Tape Recorder, it literally does not even deal damage to buildings. It's just downgrades them, so you're only using this for the suicide practice of it, nothing else. Rescue Ranger, you can literally teleport your buildings away from all danger sources. This, you can't use it to puff people up into the air and kill them, so it's actually kind of terrible now. But hey, it looks nice next to the Airstrike. Normal Revolver. Righteous Bison, it doesn't do what it used to do, so now it's utterly dog shit. Rocket Jumper, you're using this with the Market Gardener, which we all know you probably are. But at least you can get close to people now. Sandman, it used to be in A tier because of that stun mechanic. But now it just slows people down, and then Natasha does that better. Sandwich. You will not find a heavy without a sandwich or a medic. It is just too undeniable that the sandwich and medics go hand in hand. Oh, please, dear God. Oh, thank God. I accidentally clicked the mouse button. These two, yeah, they go in defaults. We all know the scattergun meme. Scorch shit. You are an asshole. You are literally the worst person alive for using the scorch shot. So, why is it going here and not top? Well, it's because guess what? The Scorch Shot has a radius effect. Why does it need a radius effect? Well, Valve thought if little Timmy's too goddamn special to use the regular flare gun to get his hits, he needs something to dumb that down. And if he gets a hit once on you from a straight shot and then gets a follow-up, you get hit twice, basically. Have fun with that. Or it blows up into a fucking blast effect and hurts your entire fucking team. Have fun with that. Scotsman Skull Cutter. It's okay. You can crit with it. This is okay too. You can use it for good sticky traps and blow people up effectively. Banana. Great if you want to heal yourself only, not your teammates. The Sensaha. It requires you to be damaged, but if you're damaged, why are you damaged? Oh wait, it's because you're fighting somebody close to combat, so you're probably going to die. Volcano Fragment. It's better than the Rake. It lights people on fire, but with first light damage penalty, but that's okay. This thing. You get to blind people, and then you get to shoot fucking big balls of energy and delete projectiles. What's not to love? Shortstop. You can shoot people a little further away and shove them. That's about it. Shotgun. Shove. Snipple Whiffle. Here we are, the Soda Popper. The force of nature's cousin that lives down the block and is very successful. If you don't use this, compared to the force of nature, you're missing out on some good DPS. Solemn Vow. The Spy can do the same thing. Why are you wasting a melee slot? The Southern Hospitality, just you take damage from fire, and seeing how Pyro has multiple abilities to set you on fire, you're just gonna hate your life for using this. Splendid Screen, yet again, B tier, but it has shorter charge range, so it's more useful. Spicicle, A tier, and above its brethren because you just get fire immunity for it. compared to the other ones, which you just die for using it. Big Lebowski's Big Oof. And the Sticky Jumper. Well, unlike the Rocket Jumper, which, let's see where I put that baby again, because I'm forgetting. It goes above it, because as a Doman, you're more effective than a soldier with your primary than with only your secondary. Whereas a soldier will only have his secondary and his melee. So this leaves you more effective as a target fighter than the Rocket Jumper would. But that doesn't mean it's better. Next up, Sticky Bomb Launcher. SMG. Meh. Sun on a stick. Too situational. You need a pyro doing his job. If you don't have a pyro doing his job where he can't close the distance, it's basically a waste of space. The Piss Rifle. You want to piss people off? Get headshots with this and you can coat an entire group in damage buff. Damage boosting. Fun juice. By that, I mean you will literally do more damage to people if they are coated in Girardi. So use this. Please. I beg of you. You can also douse teammates. This. Oh god, the Thermal Thruster. Yet again, another weapon that's too situational for good use. It requires good positioning and a good flank route, but it's very loud, very obvious, and very easy to tell where you're going with this. So somebody could just look where you're jumping and then just light you up like a Christmas tree, and that's it. Your flank is done. Man Melter only works if you have somebody that's being healed. Charge and Targe. This is actually going to go into bottom of A tier, because unlike its brothers in B tier, this will give you full turn capabilities, but a single bullet will stop you in your tracks. But that turning capabilities means it's very effective. Tommy Slav. You are quiet. That is your ability. You are silent, you can hide in corners, and you get more medium range damage, so you can beat most heavies out in a fight if they're using anything else. Default can still win sometimes though, so make sure you get the first click. Tribesman Shiv, you get bleed damage. It's better than the San Shaha, but not as good as it could be. Ubersaw, S tier. S tier, easily. Because you get Uber for hitting people. Pool, you blow up. Vaccinator. This is only good if there's like a need for it. Otherwise, it's a waste of a good weapon slot. And unless you're good with it, you'll be wasting a slot for your team and yourself. Don't torture yourself with this thing, kids. This is the Vitasaw, otherwise known as the weapon that was nerfed harder for no reason because competitive players wanted it nerfed. What does it do? Well, you get organs for hitting people, and you save up more Uber, but there's a cap. Why is there a cap for a weapon that needs you to actually be hitting people? I don't know. But Valve has decreed it, so it's so. Warrior Spirit. You take too much damage, you die too quickly. It's not worth it, especially with the weapon. With the weapon's intended partner, the steak sandwich, you take too much damage to even get close to some people, so don't use it. Widowmaker. It can go right here. Unlimited ammo if you can hit your shots. So a little practice and this thing goes a long way. The Winger. More jumping. I don't know what more you want from me on that one. Wrangler. Bottom of S tier. You basically get the power of like, I think it was 600 health if you use this properly on a sentry. So that's basically 2 heavies staring you down with machine guns and rocket launchers. Don't know why you wouldn't use this. Rap Assassin. It's okay. Doesn't do enough damage, but it does bleed damage, which makes it better. But I'm not going to say it's good. And unlike the situational for good use, which going to go down here now. Unlike this tier, which you have a situational purpose, but it's too niche to use, the Rap Assassin just does bleed damage. Doesn't take anything away from you. The wrench goes up here for obvious reasons. And finally, your eternal reward. You want to know where this baby is gone? A tier. Stealth kills are pretty nice to have, but unlike the full restore effects of the kunai, the speed effects of this, or the fireproof immunity of a standard icicle, it's just not worth it. Silent kills could be worth it if the other team is noticeably paying attention to the scoreboard, but most people just listen for spy callouts, so it loses its effect quick. Oh, and that has been my weapon tier list. Take a look at it, see what you think. If you have suggestions, leave them below. I think this is a pretty good comprehensive list because anything that went into S tier is something that either upsets the meta right now in such a way that is weird, or it upsets the mechanics of the game in such a way that's very hard to fight against. Or I'd be crucified if I didn't put them there. Cough, cough, pans. Cough, cough. The Scorch Shot goes up here just because it's very annoying to fight against. It's very much a pain in the ass. And it deserves to be up here. Flog, you get free crits for dealing damage. I don't know why people say it's bad. It's not. Do not listen to the pyro propaganda. The Flog is extremely decent. And the only reason people say it's bad is because it doesn't make you a grilled cheese sandwich on top of the 5 kill streak you've just popped. Literally, they'd be screaming, make it so that way you can pop fucking air blasts with this thing to make it good. To make it even better, and even then, you don't need it to. So I don't know why they keep saying buff it. Crusaders Crossbow, it's because it's the only weapon there that's better than all the rest and does your job better. And the Holiday Punch is actually very effective because of that ability to interrupt an Uber. It just upsets everything. But unlike Spies, Diamondback, which is the king of S tier, the king of S tier sits there because guess what? You just do your job and you get free crits. That means a simple backstab gets you a free crit, and that's a tasty 120 damage, I believe. Whereas the Flog, you gotta deal enough damage to fill up the meter, and you can die and get that meter interrupted, whereas the Spy only needs to get 1 kill. You need about 3 or 4 to get this thing filled up. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about this stuff. As for the sandwich and the banana, they're interchangeable, really. One has a faster recharge time, one's a medium health kit on throw, and takes longer. So you use whichever one interchangeably. But the banana is better if you're soloing. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching and seeing this tier list and my fucking tired brain come up with all this. And I hope you all have a good day and a good tomorrow.